Hello and welcome on 360 Sport on Trust TV. I am Adeni Ajishafe. We just have to quickly look at stories trending in the world of sports as we look at focusing on Nigeria under-23 Eagles. That will be our first story that we'll be looking at. We are going to be looking at their preparation. They face Tanzania in AFCON under-23 qualifiers. And right now they are in Ibadan, precisely training at the Lekon Salami Stadium. Under-23 Olympic Eagles are trying to see how they can make it against Tanzania. And we'll be starting with the media officer of the Olympic Eagles, as the person of Abdallah Sharif. If you are there, Sharif Abdallah, you are there?
Yes, I'm here. Very good morning to you.
Good one. So let's talk about the under-23 Eagles. You are with them in Ibadan right now. What's happening concerning their preparation?
Well, as I can tell you at the moment, preparations are really in top gear. The coaches are really working tirelessly. They're working extremely hard to make sure that the under-23 team actually qualify for the third round, which is actually the final round of the forthcoming Africa Under-23 Cup of Nations to be hosted by Morocco next year. Of course, Nigerians believe, especially the Olympics tournament is our birthright. So we just have to make sure that we Tanzania, but it's one step at a time. So our focus at the moment is making sure we get a very good outing, very good result ahead of the encounter against our opponent, that's the Tanzanian national under-23 team, slated for Saturday. The team is really in high spirit. The coaches, like I earlier stated, have really been working, sweating it out, especially for the fitness of some of the players. Of course, we also have some foreign-based already beefed up the team, the squad. So I can tell you that in terms of preparations, the Nigeria under-23 team, that's the Olympic Eagles, are battle ready.
Okay, they are battle ready. Right now, if you're just joining us, we've been talking with Sharif Abdallah, the media officer on the 23 Eagles, or they call them the Olympic Eagles. And right now, Nigerians are looking at what's going to be happening concerning that team as they face Tanzania. Now, they played their first game. They lost out in that friendly. But Lance, they will be playing against Shooting Stars today. Is it true?
Yes, Shooting Stars game will be the final lap of the preparations. We're expected to depart Nigeria via Murtala Muhammad International Airport in the city of Lagos. So the game against Shooting Stars will surely wrap it up as we head straight for the first leg on Saturday.
Okay. While we're talking about the Eagles now, the under-23 Olympic Eagles, let's talk about the players in camp. Recently, news came out that 10 players were dropped from the squad due to age issue there. Well, but right now, those 10 players, they've been at least replaced.
Well, let me clear the air at the moment. The 10 players that were dropped were not. I mean, I came across so many speculations, rumors, published on social and mainstream media that the 10 players were dropped based on discrepancies, But to be frank and honest with you, the 10 players that were dropped, we have players that we were and right now most of the players have hit camp already. That's the foreign-based pros, players within the age grade or age cadre that are eligible to play for the national under-23 team. Those players have arrived at the moment, so we just have to make sure that we trim the squad. And don't forget the fact that there's also an upcoming international friendly between Nigeria and Costa Rica, which the same technical crew will be in charge of that team. The technical crew led by Coach Salisu Yusuf and his assistants, Kennedy Boboye, Fatai Osho, Abubakar Ba, and the goalkeepers trainer in person of Suleiman Shuaibu. So it was actually the decision of the technical crew to split the team into two.
Okay.
So that we wouldn't have, exactly. We split the team into two so that we wouldn't have the fatigue, the two legs will be played within a week. And immediately after that, the team will also be, so it's more like a rotation, so to say. So that's actually the reason why the team was split into two by the technical crew. So it was their decision. The players were dropped. not basically because they don't have the quality or because of
Age.
The age differences. No, in camp. They're still in camp, and most of them will be in camp for a few days. We will be leaving Nigeria to Tanzania tomorrow, and hopefully we should be back by Sunday. So training continues unabated. So that's actually what the true picture, the true pictorial view of the 10 players dropped from the national under-23 team.
Okay, good one there. Now we've been talking with Abdallah Sharif there. Now let's talk the players now. How lively are they? Are they really ready for this game? Have you seen that? Noticed that in them?
Well, I can assure you that the players are battle ready. I mean, the spirit in the camp is extremely high. You need their mood. For players to excel, for players to win a game, or rather, the players have to be in the right frame of mind. And I have seen that the players are highly optimistic, and in no distant time, we'll be having another technical meeting led by Coach Salisu Yusuf, that's the head of the technical crew, for us to, get the better of our East African nations opponents, that's Tanzania, on Saturday. So I can tell you from all angles, in all ramifications, so we're trying as much as we can to make sure that we get the better of our opponents.
Okay, good one there. Before I will digress a bit, the news I bumped into a particular news concerning coaching crew asking for their wages or thereabouts. What's about that?
Well, it's actually not that same set of coaching crew. I mean, the coaching crew also read about it. The coaching crew, that was the coaching crew led by former national under-23 head coach, that's Imama Amapokabo. But as for this camp, we're just starting.
Okay.
We're just starting. This is our first game, so I mean, when we get to that bridge, we cross it. It's all about getting the desired result. Remember, a very challenging year for Nigerian football. So we want to make sure Nigeria qualify for the AFCON under-23. Then we take it another step further by qualifying for the Olympics. But it has to be one step at a time. We failed to qualify for the world biggest showpiece, that's the World Cup, which was like a painful exit from the during the qualifying stage against the Black Stars. We also didn't qualify for the Chan tournament against same rivals, West African rivals, that's the Black Stars of Ghana. So the Olympic will surely serve as a consolation to Nigerians, and which will...
Okay, good one there. Abdallah, just let me digress a bit, right? Like I said earlier, let's talk about just recently, the MPFL owners, the club owners rather, they met with the NFF president, that's Ibrahim Gusso, to talk about the development of that's MPFL league, that's our league, the foremost. And we just have to talk about it before you go. The MPFL club owners meeting with the NFF, and they came up with how they can at least reduce all the issues affecting or problems facing the Nigerian Professional Football League. You, as one of those closest person to the NFF president, can you give us insight?
Well, of course, the new president has really retreated his commitment towards having a vibrant league. He has tried all his best to make sure that he bring people that are vastly experienced as far as running a Nigerian league is concerned. It's not just about running the league. It's about running the league in accordance with international best practices. So this is actually the desire and the aim of new president of Alhaji Ibrahim Musa Gusau. He's very passionate about running a vibrant league. And of course, and running a vibrant league is...
Okay, seems we lost Abdallah's connection there. Well, we are still waiting for you, Abdallah, to talk about this. Okay, I think you are back, right?
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, if you have a very good league, I mean, very good and vibrant league, then it is obvious that you will, be able to get the best sets of players. You don't even have to depend on players abroad. So a very good league in the pipe is one of the utmost priorities of the new NFF president, Alhaji Ibrahim Musa Gusau. He has retreated that. He has made it clear. Even if you can go through his manifestos, I mean, he specifically made mention of the league, not just the NPFL, the NLL, the NWFL, and the NLO 1 and 2. So as you can see, which is we all believe is the life wire of every football nation like ours, Nigeria. So I think the right step towards the right direction as the president met with the Club Owners Association a couple of days ago.
Okay, good one there. Abdullah Sharif, the Under-23 Olympic Eagles media officer, giving us update concerning the camping over there in Ibadan. How is Lekon Salami Stadium? How is it? Before I let you go.
Well, absolutely brilliant. If you ask me, one of the best stadiums we have so far in the country. And trust me, I mean, the good people of this city have really been supportive and welcoming. I mean, wherever we go, especially wearing the a Nigeria jersey or a training kit, people, believe that, yes, you have all what it takes to excel. So that's why we just don't have to, fall short. We want to make the good people of Ibadan proud. We want to make Nigerians, by extension, very proud as we take aim at our opponents on Saturday.
Good one there. Thanks for joining us, giving us so much insight there, Abdullah Sharif. We want to appreciate your time on 360 Sports, and we wish you a winning note by the time you come back from Tanzania.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, and it's always a pleasure to be with you on Trust TV.
Thank you very much. You're welcome. So now let's come back to the studio. We just had Abdullah Sharif there, Under-23 Olympic Eagles. And I have in the studio Ikena Okonkwo, a sport journalist, will be at least riding with me on the show. You just listen to what he said concerning so many things about the Under-23 Olympic Eagles. They'll be facing Tanzania in the qualifier for AFCON Under-23. He mentioned that the 10 players, when the news broke out that they were actually dropped because of age falsification or thereabout, discrepancies and all of that. But now he's saying no, because they have two sets of events, so they have to separate them. Aside that, he talked about the preparation, how the team's spirit is high, how they want to make sure they perform well against Tanzania. And he also talked about the MPFL, when the club owners met with the NFF president, talking about the problem facing MPFL, how they can work on it. A lot of this that we have discussed with him. Ikena, let's have your view briefly before we move on.
Firstly, thank you so much for having me back after some time that I've been off circulation due to some circumstances. I think Abdullah made some good points. Well, he's performing his job as a spokesman for a team that is second to our top team, Super Eagles. I mean, Under-23. So I didn't expect him to say anything less, So, well, I see some of the things he said about the team as probably first mending, if you like. If not, if there is a template to have some players in the team, I mean, start training with the team, continue training with the team, and then there will be a split to have some players, backup players that will still form part of those that will play, the team, Super Eagles, Team B, whatever friendly. That should have been explained. The NFF, I remember, has so far issued about 2 or 3 press releases about this particular team in the past 2 weeks or less than 2 weeks. And there is no explanation of this stuff that Abdullah said that is close to it. I mean, if there's a template, it should be what should be from the beginning, and of course what would be out there. You don't wait for speculations, you don't wait for whatever information to be out before you come dispelling to say, I see it as a second thought, or just a kind of just to make it look like everything is going well, So it was never anything to be, in my own opinion, because ordinarily, this information would have been there with the press statement that had gone out, with the information that have come from the football house being those that are in charge of our football. I mean, controlling affairs of football in the country. So, well, it's a good thing that they thought of it, because ordinarily, when you invite players who can't perform, what do? There are some that can't perform are asked to move on, where you also invite more players to try to see. Unfortunately, they don't have the time. A team that is meant to play qualifier, they have barely 2 weeks to prepare. I mean, these are international things that they have been in camp for about 2 months or thereabouts. So I don't know the miracle they want to perform, but I wish them well. In any case, let them try to do the right thing at the right times.
Well, we just hope that under 23 Eagles will do well against Tanzania as they fly out to actually play against them for the AFCON under 23. Olympic Eagles there. Well, let's move on. As we talk about matches were played across different stadiums in Europe, let's go to England, where we look at the results and also move straight to La Liga, Coppa Italia, all of that. But right now, Brighton and Hove Albion, they play goalless against Nottingham Forest. Like someone actually joked that despite having a new squad, they couldn't score against Brighton. Well, Awoni was there, actually got about 5% of rating. Crystal Palace did well against Wolverhampton Wanderers 2-1, courtesy of Zaha among the scorers there. You just have to look at the result here for Crystal Palace, as the guests yesterday actually opined that Crystal Palace should win against Wolverhampton, which they did. The Eagles actually they fly high and they did well 2-1. But for Nottingham Forest against Brighton, the performance of Nottingham Forest has not been too kind of encouraging so far this season. Now they play draw again.
Brighton have never been. I mean, this season so far they haven't been a team to push over.
Yes.
Because at the time, remember, they were in the top 4 in the season, though quite early.
Now they are coming back.
Yeah. So, however, this Nottingham Forest, they just gained promotion, and I don't know whether it's their recruitment or is their their technical crew that are not being able to get their ass right. I mean, this is the second consecutive draw they are having, in the past 1 week thereabout. So it goes to show that the question that will always drop for them to answer with their performance or whatever plans is, are they ready for the Premier League? Because the way it looks, if they continue this way, they have comfortably secured themselves back to where they are coming from. So unfortunately, we have our own Awoni, Emmanuel Dennis, that are there. I mean, for their sake, I pray and I wish the team would retool and start winning games. The games they are supposed to win, they don't win them. It's definitely going to tell so much on them when the season gets halfway and then start rounding off by next year.
We've been talking concerning Brighton versus Nottingham Forest in that game. And also we talked about Crystal Palace, Eze, and the man that actually been scoring a lot of goals for them, Zaha, was unsung in that particular game for Crystal Palace. Congrats to the winning team. And for Nottingham Forest right now, they just have to get their acts together, or else they go back to where they came from, coming from Ikena Okonkwo there. Now we look at other results in Spanish La Liga. Matches were also played there. Sevilla against Valencia, they actually shared the spoil there, 1-1, 2-2 between Atletico Bilbao against Getafe in Madrid. Atletico Madrid at the Metropolitano play one or other against Rayo. But I think that they should have been Atletico. Well, from the way it is, just looking at the fact that these matches were played and Atletico won away last time to Atletico Bilbao, but they play home, they drew. Getafe played 2-2, also they drew. And Sevilla, it was as if they had a meeting that all of them should just share the spoil in La Liga. Well, for Sevilla Valencia, a big game there. Attention was on that game. A lot of people want to see what's going to happen with Sevilla bounce back from all the way they've been playing. You look at them champions, they are not performing where they are, almost going back to where they are kings in Europa Cup. And you have Valencia also. When you think of La Liga, after Real Barcelona, if you have a thought about those two, the next team you are thinking of is Atletico, Valencia, or Villarreal. So far in La Liga. Yeah,
these are the 5 teams apart from Atletico Madrid are middle table teams on a good day. Except Sevilla, that we want to sometimes they try to put their head to do Champions League or Europa League. Same with Valencia, not in recent times. But it's talk about Getafe, Atletico Bilbao, and Rayo. I mean, they are all middle table teams at best. If not, sometimes one or two of them would want to battle for escape from the relegation, stages. So it's a good thing. Atletico is the only team I'm quite scared of or concerned about because, as it were, their rivals, so to say, even though sometimes it doesn't turn out to be, but they try to rival Barcelona and Real Madrid there, and so it's getting to look like they want to finish, maybe try to do Champions League, but not to topple any of these rivals they have, the two teams, Barcelona and that Real Madrid at the end of the day.
Good one there. We have to quickly move now as we are giving you a result of all those matches played. Let's go Germany now. I'll talk about the DFB Pokal as you actually look at matches were played. Now let's look at the result. Although some result really, you look at it at Darmstadt beating Mönchengladbach, a good one for Darmstadt. Mönchengladbach so far, they've not been fantastic too much this season. Effenheim 5-1 against Schalke 0-4, a repeat of what they did in the Bundesliga. But this time around, we are looking at DFB Pokal. And now for Lübeck, Mainz 05 defeated them 3-0. You have Stuttgarter Kickers 2-0 from Eintracht Frankfurt. Leipzig 4-0 against Hamburg SV. Elversberg 0. You have them. They actually lost that game against Bochum 18-14, 1-0 there. And Braunschweig is saying Wolfsburg 2-1 for Wolfsburg in an away game. Looking at the DFB Pokal, matches were played. And for Mönchengladbach, Schalke 04, Hamburg, they all lost in that game.
Yeah, this German Bundesliga has always been, a league with, you always predict that Bayern will take it at the end of the day. Maybe Dortmund will try to do something. But the season is still new, and though there have been one or two shocker expectedly, but when the jungle matures, you want to begin to look at the shape of the summit, of the table, being what it used to be. I mean, these are the reason. I mean, this is the reason why every time you talk about ratings of different leagues in Europe, Germany will still not be in the top 3, because at the end of the day, anyone that predicts will eventually get it to be that Bayern will take it, Dortmund will second, and all of those following. And so they have good players actually. I mean, in that particular league. I mean, sometimes the Spanish La Liga or the EPL go there, poach one or two players, and they do well in those leagues. I mean, but what I don't know is how the other teams that are not either Dortmund or Bayern would, just leave things open for themselves and don't really want to position themselves to get to the top at the end of the day. So
well, we've been looking at German DFB Pokal there, even though the headline is reading Bundesliga, is actually DFB Pokal. Now let's quickly go to Coppa Italia. They play Coppa, their cup there, and let's look at the result before we wrap it up quickly. The result of the Coppa Italia. And now, while we're waiting for that, we talk about Chelsea. Chelsea midfielder Jorginho wants a rise in salary to 150 weekly. Well, Jorginho has been with Chelsea and he wants to get a pay rise. He wants to move, and if they really want to get him to stay, he's asking for £150,000 per week for a new deal to be signed by him.
And it's worth it. He's a young man that has given it all, if you ask me, for Chelsea. I mean, he's doing pretty well. He's not like so much of a Kante, who age is already, dealing with, and of course prone to so much injuries, in recent times. So I think with his experience, with the contributions he has made for the team, I mean, the club shouldn't think twice in offering him this amount, and if possible even more, to just say thank you for what you've done so far, and we look forward to getting more from you. I mean, he deserves it, and any game he plays or features, he has always shown that he's got what it takes to lift the club to a level they want to be.
Good one there. Well, that player really deserves whatever amount he's asking for, according to Ikena Okonkwo. He has been fantastic for the Blues. Now, quickly, Coppa Italia result before we wrap it up, as we let you know all the result that was played. Well, 2 matches. SPL, they lost against Genoa. Torino 4-0 against Sardella. It was a good one for Torino, where Ola played straight for the team called Torino. 4-0 against Sardella there. Just as it is, a lot of players always want to appreciate the fact that when they play and they are able to do well, they always celebrate. Good one for Torino. 4-0 against Sardella in the Coppa Italia. And Genoa 1-0. They peeped SPL right now there. We just talked about it, and we're wishing on the 23 Olympic Eagles the best as they move straight down to Tanzania to fight for honors in the AFCON Under 23 qualifiers. It's been a wonderful time. We had Babs Abdallah Sharif on the show, the media officer of Under 23 Olympic Eagles. He was with us via Zoom, and now we have in the studio, that's Ikena Okonkwo. Wants to appreciate your time on the show.
Thank you so much.
I am Adeni Ajishafe. Thanks for watching.